Project 01 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It is game day, Lincoln, Nebraska, Saturday morning. Let's go. Let's go. I'm coming in hot. I'm letting folks know. I was telling Nick Sainert in the break that sometimes the universe connects. And on some Saturday mornings when Nebraska has a home game, it gives me UFC on the same morning. And so at 8 o'clock this morning, I'm throwing fists like air punches, right? So I'm just letting people know that if I see you down at Memorial or down here at the station, offer me a fist bump to say, hey, listen, I'm not a foe.
Yeah, we good.
Like we're like, because if you come at me the wrong way, like I may drop and get a knee, I may heel hook you, you know.
We don't want none of that.
I may spear you. I'm not real sure what we're going to do.
We don't need DP taken out of Memorial Stadium today.
And that'll be the report. Local reporter.
Hey, if that's the biggest breaking news today, I think Nebraska fans would be okay.
Nebraska has a lot, like there are a lot of stories to write today.
Yeah.
And Lincoln, Nebraska has the opportunity to make several statements in full. And in this kind of day, this is where the Sea of Red and Husker Nation gets a chance to show off, right? Because you're going to see two absolutely packed venues, busy and bustling downtown because we already see it. A shout out to the folks from Barry Law who are going to be in the studio in the mill,
absolutely,
with us in their pregame. They invited 75 to 100 folks down here. If you're going to be down here in downtown, stop by 11th and O. Come by the mill, get some coffee, come in the studio. Again, offer fist bumps. You'll have the usual cast of characters to take you through the next 4 hours of pregame. Jake and Sip will come in. Amon Green will be here. Vashon will be here. Terrell Farley will be here. Raph will be here. Nick, Rico, Austin, Bach, Harrison. It's going to be a full day. Strick will be here. So come down, share a drink. There's 2 drink specials at the mill.
Okay.
So if you like your hot coffee, they're selling Scarlet and Cream,
which are delicious. I had my first one 3 weeks ago before the Michigan game.
So good.
So good.
So good. If you like it ice brewed, they've got the black shirt.
Yeah.
And it is tasty. Super yummy. We had some students come in yesterday who got their first taste, and they were like, how do we not know about this? So to do that. And then, of course, if you're just feeling, this wonderful, beautiful autumn day, a granita.
Yeah.
Just go with the granita. It's can't miss. It's like Harburg at the 3. We're just going to run the option and let him go ahead and take it in.
Let's hope it's can't miss.
Right? Like it can't be that. Well, you notice I didn't say like it's not like you're kicking.
Yeah.
Time. Soon.
Yeah.
Soon. We'll have that. So Nick and I will carry you through the hour. We're going to invite a couple of guests in as well over the course of this hour, just so you get to know what's going on here and what's there. The big breaking news, of course, of the morning is that Brendan Sullivan. Will lead the way for the Fighting Wildcats of Northwestern University. And first of all, can we settle something? Can we settle something once and for all?
What's that?
There's one in you, correct? Right? It's not purple.
Yeah.
Like, even if the Huskers don't always use it, they're the NU, especially during football season, right? Right? I'm not wrong.
Of course.
Right? I'm not wrong in that.
No.
So
not even close.
So it's 1-0 Nebraska that we've already claimed. We're walking into today with a lead.
Yeah.
That the official NU. That when you don't have your starting quarterback, now it is a thing because imagine places not knowing that when Heinrich Harburg is named the starting quarterback, that they think it's a step down. That's not necessarily the case with Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, he's got 4 starts. This is his 5th start. And somebody earlier asked me to describe him, and I said, well, he's Harburg-esque. Big, 6'3", 225 pounds, runs the ball well, decent in short passing games, not exceptional in throwing the big ball, can be confused sometimes with pressure. I think that's fair. In your mind, is that a fair description of the young man?
Yeah, I also, in his one start this season against Howard, when Ben Bryant missed that game, they didn't trust him to throw it a whole lot. I think he only attempted 18 passes. Now, he completed 14 of them, but he only attempted 18 against Howard. And it was a close game, a 23-20 Northwestern victory. They didn't trust him to throw the ball a whole lot.
Which says a lot, right? Okay, so the very first college offer that I got as a wide receiver was Howard University. Yep. And so I'll say this in full. In no way, shape, or form should Howard University and Nebraska be compared on the football field.
Yeah.
I just need to point that out. And that if this was a 23-20 game, and quite frankly, Northwestern was on their heels. This was an interesting day to watch. But what I wanted was to see what Northwestern would show as their go-to. And in a run game, look, they only averaged 3 yards rush. So it wasn't pretty.
No.
And they weren't able to just extend drives. So if you're not going to throw the ball, you're not going to stretch the field vertically against Nebraska, it's going to be it's tough to run the ball anyway. It's going to be super hard for Northwestern to put the ball on the ground.
Well, and David Braun on his Monday press conference, the interim head coach for Northwestern, he was asked about just the unbalanced approach against Howard when Brendan Sullivan started. They ran the ball 48 times as a team, or 46 times as a team that game. And like we just talked about, didn't throw it a whole lot. And that's something that maybe you would see normally in a typical Power 5 versus a Group of 5 or a Howard type of team, is because normally the score is a lot bigger of a margin than it was that day between Northwestern and Howard. So when you look at the way that Nebraska's defense lines up, their pass defense isn't that great. Statistically, they rank in the low 80s, I believe, if I remember correctly, in pass defense. But their rush defense is certainly the strong suit of this Nebraska defense, as we've seen through the first 6 games this year. And so if you're Nebraska, you're licking your chops going, we have an opportunity to hold Northwestern to where they have nothing going on offense.
Yeah, this is where the blue blood status
absolutely
sometimes can get Nebraska in trouble, because we've said this every year for the last few years against Northwestern, that Northwestern they check every box for exactly what Nebraska needs in the week in which they face them. And then Nebraska, we forget to say Nebraska should be able to do this against Northwestern. This matchup, okay, that's the cutest dog ever.
He was just in here.
Oh,
he was just holding him by the front desk out here.
Oh, cute dog alert. Yeah, the Nebraska should be able to stop the run. They should be able to have run production.
Exactly.
Northwestern's defense has a real problem getting off the field on third down. They don't particularly identify quarterback stops. They don't defend the 11th player. That's just not how they're built and wired. So to take them out of their comfort zones should give you some level of comfort if you're Nebraska offensively.
Yeah.
But, and there's the but, that what Nebraska should do, Nebraska hasn't always done.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. We know there's going to be a plethora of young guys having to step up today. We know Malachi Coleman's getting his first start. We're probably going to see more from guys like Jaden Doss, potentially Jalen Lloyd, these freshman wide receivers. Is there a way that we see Nebraska try to get those guys involved with stretching the field? Like, is there an everybody's expecting Nebraska to run the ball. Nebraska, from a running back standpoint, has not been able to run the ball successfully all season long, even against poor rushing defenses like Northwestern, like Illinois. Is there a way that we see Nebraska maybe try to take some shots early with some of those guys?
Well, so there's two things in play. That one, the great dilemma and duress and stress that you can give Northwestern's defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest fear that exists for a defensive back is somebody running by them and getting to the house. That's the great fear. So you sell everything that happens in the other 99% of offensive football is based on the premise that I'm going to threaten you vertically.
Yeah.
And it has to be done. Now, if you told me that you're willing to set the trend for the day by opening up the run game by stretching the field early.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, but that's an offensive possession that you're giving away.
That's a very good point.
And you don't know if this is a one-possession game. And the one possession it could happen. The possession that turns the game could happen early. So Satterfield has said if he was allowed, he would stretch the field all the time. Somewhere in this is a matchup that you're looking for. So find a small corner, move your receivers around, get Malachi and his size and length against a small corner, and then occupy a safety. So if I can get Fedoni or Billy Kemp, both of them vertical on the seams, one time to freeze a safety, then I free up man coverage on the outside and I get a shot.
Yeah.
The other way to open it up for these young guys, pound the ball. Pound the ball. Listen, if these corners if I just take Malachi and Lloyd and just run them vertically, there's now 2 fewer defenders in the box.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And if I'm the running team that I say I am, then 4 defenders out of the box means I got a shot to win on the ground and be consistent. Now, do I want to pitch and sell that early?
Yeah.
By occupying cornerbacks? Or do I just simply say, screw it, I'm going to line up and be a better man than you, and I'm going to beat you anyway? Don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how just personnel decisions, I think, today. The reason I say that is you have Anthony Grant that we know where the staff kind of sits with him, right? Well, I mean, maybe we don't know, but we kind of have heard that they say things.
We go by what we know.
Yeah, exactly. We say things, and unfortunately, Anthony Grant's had some fumble issues later in the game. It's not that he's necessarily ran for 100+ yards per game like maybe he did in 2022 through the non-conference. He ran 20 times for 56 yards against the Fighting Illini a couple Fridays ago. Emmett Johnson, seen very little of him. When Anthony Grant then went out with a little bit of a banged up ankle or whatever had happened where he had to exit the game for a few plays, Emmett Johnson in the fourth quarter put the ball on the turf. Now, part of it was maybe because of the handoff was a little bit of issues between Heinrich Harburg and Emmett Johnson, but still, we haven't seen a good enough sample size of Emmett Johnson to know that this staff fully trusts him in a Big Ten conference game. Josh Fleeks moves to running back. He's carried the ball, 2 times? And one of those was a 74-yard touchdown in garbage time against the Wolverines. So I think when you look at this running back room, the personnel decision is going to be really interesting to see how they handle where they put guys and when they put them into situations. Because when you look at Nebraska's offense, you want to talk about all the ways that they can benefit today. Don't ask too much. You can't ask Billy Kemp to be something that he's not. You can't ask Malachi Coleman to do something in his first start that doesn't put him in a position to be successful.
Well, I don't know what they think these players are.
And that's a very good point.
But today may be a day to step up and identify what that is.
Yeah.
That if you think Billy Kemp, you made the decision, the first receiver you're going to bring in was a 70-catch, 60-catch guy from the ACC, then allow him to be that.
Yeah.
Like if you brought him in to not be that, okay, shame on you.
Yeah.
But then use him in that way. Joshua Fleeks, you know him. I mean, McGuire played with him. You kind of should know what's in play. And then you've had all of these young guys long enough to know who they are. Whatever the successes they have at practice is what you're going to build this thing off of. And quite frankly, to coach in this space in the Big Ten against Northwestern, a sound defensive team, that we're just going to make sure that we do what we're good at. Your best player in the best play the most often.
Yeah.
Now I would think that's option and right, like that's option with Harburg.
Yeah. Well,
right. Like
that's the only. When you look at Nebraska's first 6 games, and this isn't necessarily a slight, it can be if you take it this way. That's the only constant that they've had is the quarterback run.
Like we don't have the downhill confidence.
Nope.
We should, because today I actually like the internal 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just to give you a cheat code of how I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to watch it from Scott to Piper to Nori.
Yeah.
And if Nebraska's winning there, they will win the game offensively.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff outside of that can only happen consistently and effectively if you're winning on the internal 3.
And what's interesting is notice what DP's saying. This is where it all falls on those guys up front, right? Like at some point, and Jay talks about it, DP's talked about it, I've even talked about it throughout postgame shows and daily shows. Like at some point in a Big Ten game, you have to be tired of being on the losing side of things in the trenches. You have to be tired. You have to. Like the pride has to. You have to get tired of getting your face beat in.
For the length of humanity, whenever there's a battle, you send your biggest, baddest out there first.
Exactly.
You lead with that, and if you can't win with that, then it doesn't allow all the other role players and position players and skill players to be athletic, because you're fighting in a closet. And if you can't do that, then you need to expand the field. Listen, if Nebraska's winning in the fight in the closet, they'll win the fight in the streets.
Yeah.
Like you can do all the other stuff. Look, you're asking less of, and there are ways to chip this. And Northwestern is really good at sending extra bodies to the point of attack. But here's the thing. If you can't punish them for doing that, right? If you're going to bring an extra safety, if I can't send Fedoni where the safety vacated, and trust that Harburg's going to make the throw and trust that the offensive line is going to give him time to do so, then it's problematic. And that's been what we've seen with Nebraska. So we know it's possible. We also know there's also the likelihood that it doesn't happen either.
It's fascinating because that scenario that you just mentioned, you're not asking guys to go out and be something that they're not or do something extraordinary. You're asking them to do the job.
There's a way to attack everybody. Like there's not a defense in the Big Ten that somebody hadn't figured out how to attack. Mm-hmm. And the rules of this, I mean, I'm a passing game guy, but I was also a running back. So I have an understanding of what I need to have success. There's 15 spots on the field to throw to. You have 11 defenders. By rule, by simple math, there is a way to beat every defense if you're willing to do that. And then in the run game, I simply would say, take the center, slice the field in half. The run game is not a full sideline to sideline deal. The run game, if you're really good, the run game is from the center to the hash. Mm-hmm. I just need to win from the center to the hash. If I'm super athletic and I'm having trouble in the middle, then I want to extend it from the center to the numbers and then from the center to the sideline. Based on the number of wins I can get from the center on that side of the ball to the sideline. And then as runners, we know, you know how it plays out? There's a thing that we teach. Hash, numbers, sideline. So as running backs, I get the ball and I'm going downhill. If I get past the first level, there are fewer defenders at the hash than there are in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So I need to run to where there are fewer defenders. There are fewer defenders at the numbers than there are at the hash. And then there are fewer defenders at the sideline than there are in the middle. So we always teach first level, get through, win first level, hash, numbers, sideline. When Grant was putting up those 900 yards, you can go back and look at film.
Yeah.
Hash, numbers, sideline. When you get away from that, is what you're saying that I'm not winning in the middle. And this is a day that Nebraska using an extra tight end gives you it gives you an advantage on your half of the field. And the half I'm not talking about is the line of scrimmage. Yeah. I'm talking about from the center to the power side of the ball.
And we saw it from Anthony Grant against Illinois. Like he was forced to try to bounce, maybe not forced. He chose to bounce outside.
Yeah.
A lot. And we saw flashes of that towards the end of 2022 when he started to not have as much success as he did in the earlier games in that same season. So there's a method to the madness here to where Anthony Grant is a much better running back than 20 carries, 56 yards in a game.
100%. And this is a day, right? This is a day for it. Now, if you tell me that Emmett Johnson's in the game and listen, young man, I need for you to take the win at the line of scrimmage and then get me plus yardage.
Yeah.
And this is how clear you have to be with new runners and young runners. Take the win at the line of scrimmage. So listen, of all these guys up front, if we're going behind center, I need for you to find Scott's big behind and Nori's big behind. And whatever way they turn, whatever way those butts are turned, I need for your hip to scrape off the outside of Nori's hip. That's the first level win. If I do that, and I'm true to that, and it's Nori's job and it's Scott's job to not only get flat back and even with Nick, but then to turn their hips so the running back has an advantage. Then it's next level, and it's me on somebody. It's me against a tackler, unless I got good and a fullback went and took him on.
Yeah.
There are keys to doing things simply. Nebraska has a chance. Have a chance.
I think last thing before you can send it to break. I think when you look at today's game, stay ahead of schedule. Stay on schedule. You don't even have to be ahead of schedule. 4 yards per carry is okay. 4 yards per carry, this ground and pound. I think, once again, another thing that I'm kind of watching for, Nebraska's handled going into the half really poorly. Nebraska's handled going into the half real poorly in every single game. If Nebraska's fortunate enough to win the toss, and obviously this is a hypothetical scenario, if Nebraska ends up deferring, or even if they do receive the first half kick, show that you have a plan going into halftime and show that you've made adjustments coming out of halftime, because we've seen some disconnect there in both of those drives.
Yeah, I got bothered. I got excited in Minnesota because they came out at halftime and had a plan.
It was off the back of a big special teams play.
But here's and I don't care how you get it.
Yeah.
Because everybody out there has a job. So I kind of don't want to give credit for you doing the thing that you're actually out there to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're a specialist. It's in the name. Be special. Like, you're out there to return for yardage. There's so much in this, but then maturity of coaches. And today's a day where Nebraska's not at a huge deficit in big game coaching. I'll plant the seed. This coaching staff has not been familiar with coaching in front of 90,000. They have the biggest crowd that they played in front of this year was 53,000 at Rutgers. 90,000.
Yeah.
90,000. We'll talk about the fans when we come back.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info, or call 402-467-1627.
In dealing with the high interest rates, it's very important that you get as much bang for the buck. And that's what our Remington Homes is all about.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, whether you want painted trim or other upgrades. Those are all options with our Remington Homes. If you're looking for more affordability and streamlined, you're probably better off with a Remington home. Our goal there is to give you a good product for the right price in budget.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street. The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes, but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Chances are you're a busy person. Chances are you'd rather not drive down to Beatrice for your favorite desserts. Chances are you'd really benefit from a Lincoln location for all of your fruitcake, liqueur cake, and breakfast bread needs. Insert Beatrice Bakery in downtown Lincoln. 1040 O Street, the new 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Just grab a cake out of the cooler, pay at the counter, and you're headed home with the delicious, fruity, nutty, decadent treat of your choice. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com or now in downtown Lincoln at 1040 O Street.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers' 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Bring it back, and I let you know we're coming in hot. I'm just saying that this is a beat Northwestern vibe. Downtown Lincoln is active, and listen, it's officially autumn because we see the color. The leaves are turning.
Leaves are falling.
They're falling, and I know that you have a leaf.
I have a leaf issue.
You have a leaf issue.
I have an issue with the leaves.
But from the sky to the earth, there is value.
There is, yes.
You
I
have
understand.
to remember that.
I understand.
For the circle of life, those leaves need to do what they do.
Once again, I like the look of them on the tree. I just wish they could stay on the tree.
But that wouldn't be living.
It wouldn't be living. I understand. It's not moving
allow
forward.
the life to have the leaf to have its life.
I understand. I think I also just don't like it because that means that the cold temperatures are right around the corner, and I'm not a fan of that either.
Well, I think
I might be living in the wrong place. If that's the case.
Yeah, yes, you are. I think there's a 30-degree temperature drop in the next week.
See, I don't like that.
I think that's what I heard.
I'll be honest. Sitting out there at Seacrest Field the last 2 nights, 74 degrees at kick on Thursday, 76 degrees at kick on Friday. It didn't feel like it was the middle to late October fall football that we're used to for high school football.
This is what's brilliant, right? So in past years, we've been somewhere else.
Yeah.
And there are at least 3 weeks where we're miserable, just miserable. We're going to be down to 2 weeks. We could get it in.
Yep.
Like because we have 3 weeks left, 3 home games left.
Yeah.
After this, but so this is what it says for this week. So it should hit 75 today.
Yeah. Which we
will
I'm
take
in shorts and a polo.
Right, and I'm loving the fact that again this year we will do our pregame indoor.
Darn right. Especially on that Iowa game.
We're
gonna be inside.
Indoors. It'll get up to Monday will be 86 degrees.
Okay.
82 on Tuesday.
And then snap.
Then showers. It's gonna rain on Wednesday. Partly cloudy on Thursday, down to 63. Next Friday, 61. Saturday, 56. Nick.
Oh, and Purdue, 56 degrees.
56 degrees, and then the following week it'll be 58 on game day.
Which
so
honestly,
we will take.
I would say that's not
we
too
will
bad.
take. Yeah, we will
that's
take
not
all
as
of
bad
that
as it could be.
Yeah, we will take.
We've had snow at this point in past years.
Yeah, Sanderson says he's on the text line. He says he's coming down to see.
Sweet man.
Listen, we invite everybody here. Look, it costs you nothing to come down to see us.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to hang out with Amon and normally Jay's here. Jay's on the road. Say hi to Sip. Say hi to Jake. Jake's in the building, so he's going to take over at 11 o'clock. He and Sip will get us through. I'll probably pull Nick back on with me at 11:30, somewhere around there. We'll set up a table outside for meet and greet. We'll have some swag out there, some T-shirts. If you buy coffee, you get a free ticket T-shirt. We're actually going to do that for you today. We've got headbands. We've got some hats. We've got some little footballs that we're going to throw at you if you walk by and drive by. We're going to test your hands.
And it goes across the street. Like we chuck them across the street.
Yeah, we can reach you at the opposite corner.
Yep, we've done it before.
Yeah, we can reach you. As a matter of fact, we've reached the 3rd floor.
Yep, that's right.
On this building, we did not get anything to the top of the roof because I didn't want the HOA to come and find me and say, "Listen,
we're still somewhat new at this place.
We found a whole bunch of footballs from the ticket up on the roof." So, but at some point, somebody's gonna put one up there.
Yep,
just for the record, this is a big fan day. This is a big fan day for Nebraska fans, for Lincoln. This is extraordinary.
Oh, we're putting the cornhole out there too.
Cornhole's going out. Well, the Barry Law folks are here. We need to shout that
Raising
out.
Cane's is here as
Raising
well.
Cane's is here. And over the course of the next few home games, there'll be other folks who show up. I need my buddy from the churro. I got to get my buddy out down here. He makes those mini churros. We need those on game day.
I agree.
We need those on game day.
Well, and the mill has their kegs, their taps installed.
Oh,
they have 4 beer options.
Oh, you have beer options.
Beer and wine.
Yeah, you can officially at the ticket and the mill at 11th actually have an adult beverage.
There it is.
The ABC license is in play. We're probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from the patio being open, but you can take the coffee on the patio, but you can't take the beverage. The alcohol beverage on the patio.
Interestingly enough, Huskers linebackers coach Rob Dvorak is outside. He's chilling in a gator right now.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there. Coach, you're supposed to be playing in a game.
Yeah, right?
You're coaching a game here, Rob.
This is it. And nobody. And here's the thing. This is what's
he's driving away from the stadium.
As crazy as he forgot something at home, so he has to go. He probably has to go home and get it. And you don't want to move the car. And you don't want the traffic, so you need to be able to maneuver.
I got a really good spot.
Yeah, you got to maneuver through traffic. But this is a fan day. And this is the other thing about Nebraska that tickles me. For a fan base that's absolutely just crazy over the Huskers, they don't always recognize their coaches when they're walking around. Like, it's a real...
Well, I will say, I mean, the Rob Dvorak is one of those who just kind of looks like a random guy.
Yeah, he's a monster of a man.
Well, he is, but he's
a monster of a man. Like,
driving down 11th Street.
Like, wouldn't you just kind of go... You know who walks through here every day? Every game day? Ron Brown. Like, Ron Brown will walk through. He'll come through, stop by and say hi. So you have all the excuses and reasons. If you don't know where you're going to watch the game, you want to watch the game without some of the chaos that happens at sports bars. The games will be up here.
Yeah.
You can have a beer. You can have a glass of wine. We do throughout the game. And then in the post game. Now, post game.
Hey, trust me. Sometimes we have those beverages.
Post game, you could come here, stop by, and have a beverage and get caught up. And again, we're a couple of blocks away from the stadium, so we keep it simple.
Well, let's be real. Also, tonight's a big one where there's going to be, downtown, if Nebraska football can take care of business first and foremost, right? There's going to be an opportunity to have Nebraska go 2-0 today. Yeah. Have Nebraska go 2-0 today as an athletic department. If you need somewhere to watch the volleyball game, come hang out. We'll be here.
Cubsker says he's in the state of Nebraska. Well done.
That's what we like to hear.
Somebody said I came for the Michigan game. Wasn't much going on. Quite frankly, if you came for the Michigan game, we were rolling.
Michigan was the most popular one. Yeah,
that was fun.
Well, until the game started.
Yeah, until the game started, and then there was that. So we don't control that. We don't control.
They did have a 74-yard touchdown run
early, and then we just kind of
and then the rest of it happened.
It is just what it was. So but this is the confirmation reaffirmation day for Husker fans.
Yeah.
Like, for this team, this program to reach 4-3 second half of the season with a win over a team that they've given games away against, this is a chance for the fan base to get fully behind it. And what we want is a dominant performance.
Yeah.
Like, it's Northwestern. Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to give Northwestern any more credit than they're getting.
Yeah.
But I was raised on Nebraska as a power. And if you had said to young DP that, hey, Northwestern's going to come to town and it could be possible that Northwestern wins, I would say, young DP would say, man, you crazy.
Well, unfortunately, this has been like the history of it. Back even in the Bo Pelini days, Nebraska was a top 10, top 15 school. Northwestern would bring in Kane Coulter.
Yeah.
And they'd run the 2-quarterback system. And every time Kane Coulter came into the game, you knew he was going to run it. But every time Nebraska could not stop it as a top 10 or top 15 school. And Northwestern would win on the road here in Lincoln. And so Nebraska's always had issues with the Wildcats. And let's hope that today's a different story.
Yeah, because the recent history is that last year I threw air punches.
You
so
did not
many air punches.
Yeah, you did not want to be there.
So many air punches during the Northwestern game. It was tough. It was tough. And you know what? I'd like the idea of being able to celebrate today.
Yeah.
I don't want the black cloud over Lincoln heading into the Wisconsin volleyball game.
Yeah.
I need the vibe.
Well, and frankly, Nebraska, what did they do going into the bye week? They did what they needed to do at the end of the day, and that's go 1-0. They won the game. And that's something that previous staffs have not been able to do since 2016. And so then you look at, all right, what do they need to do today? What's mission number one? What's one thing that they need to accomplish? Go 1-0. Come out of the bye week. Do something that, once again, you haven't done since 2016 and control what you can control and continue this feeling of optimism in the fan base.
Look, Coach Rule has asked to not have to carry the burden of programs past, recent past.
Yep.
To give you that, sir, you have to do things that those recent past programs didn't do. That's a fair ask.
Yeah.
That's not asking too much. Listen, we won't hold you accountable for the debacles that happened if you show that you are better than and more worthy than they. That's all that's required, and today's a day for you to step on the necks of the Wildcats. That's just me. Let's go to break.
Fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa. Beginning October 13th, customers can take advantage of great cash and financing options on hot spring spas. Get up to $1,000 off a new High Life Collection spa or $500 off a new Limelight Collection spa when you pay in full, or get 0% APR for 60 months when you finance. This amazing offer ends October 23rd. Visit them at 33rd and Pioneers to learn more on how you can fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Husker fans, head coach Amy Williams and your Husker women's basketball team want to see you at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Season tickets are on sale now. Reserve your spot to cheer on the Huskers as they take on some of the best teams in the Big Ten and around the country. Opponents include Creighton, Maryland, Indiana, Iowa, and more. To buy tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. They have a full season of fun set for this year. For promotional information, visit huskers.com.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So yeah, that sounded like Heinrich's the guy. I think he said again, Heinrich's got to improve his conditioning, which is one of the most confounding things I've heard. He looks like a decathlete. I mean, he's not a dumpy quarterback.
Oh, he runs.
He's one of the best looking athletes on the campus.
Look at the run he had for the touchdown in that game. He looked pretty
Look
fast.
At the dude. How can his conditioning be bad?
What is this about?
It might be about that they asked him to do about everything.
He's carrying it 20 times a game. Right. He's a quarterback.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
On the block with Strick and Austin. Yes, the rest of the roster has to elevate the quarterback, but the quarterback also has to elevate the rest of the roster. Haven't seen from Heinrich Haarberg yet. I'm willing to give him the rest of the year. I'm willing to say that he can be the guy next year, but then you have to have realistic expectations in mind for Nebraska, and to me, that's 6 or 7 wins. Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 24th are pre-packaged picana for just $7.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You know what we need to do, Nick Sainer? We need to put Hail Varsity into the system. It's in the system, right?
Yeah, I think we got it here.
You know what? The only way before we hand it over to Jake Sorensen and Steven Sipple, that to set the tone and to set the mood and identify what it is that we're doing and how we're feeling.
Oh no, I'm trying to hurry.
Oh no, this is what it is. Like, this is the beauty of this thing. Professional radio. Live radio. This is what we do.
Just search it here.
Through all of it.
Sift through it here.
Right. So it's a full day, full lineup. Everybody will be here. Everybody except for Jay Foreman. So Strick will be here. Amon will be here. Rashawn will be here. Farley will be here. 80's not in town?
80 is not. He is flying back from Florida today.
Raph is coming. Yeah,
I believe Strick is out of town, but he's going to be on the show.
Well, whatever way they need to work that out.
He'll be hanging out.
Whatever way they need to work that out. So they have the full rotation. Rico will be here. Austin is already here. Bach will be here. So we'll have a full. Hit this town's music! Let's go! Set the table! Let's get it! Northwestern, our apologies. We appreciate you coming to our party, but you gotta take this butt whooping and head on back to Evanston, Illinois. It's that kind of day. Let's go! About. Come on down to 11th and O. Come down to the mill. Come say hi to the folks from Barry Law. Come meet the ticket staff. Give up fist bumps, hugs, and shout, "Go Big Red," all you want.
Is this you? You feel the same way every day, and it's not good. You may think there's a magic